Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I actually have the day off today, and so I'm going to be creating a just little reflection spread because I wanted to share with you what I learned. So today is Friday, July 23rd, and I guess it's like 12 days post the major go live for my work computer system change, which was a huge, huge thing for me. And I, I had done a podcast episode about this, about, how it's been really challenging, but it's exciting to just like dive in and learn what you don't learn, what current state is actually like, because you can only tweak and perfect so much until you just need to actually act on what's reality. And so I learned a few things about myself during this go live that I wanted to share with you. And I actually had created a spread that I shared on my Instagram, just sort of a journal reflection. And I'm going to be recreating this notebook page here because I did some reflection and I thought more about these things. So I thought it would be worth sharing with you. If you're using my Leader Standard workbook, um, then you know that each day of the week there is a section for you to fill in the date, your leave happy tasks, and then also reflection. And some days like here I covered it up. These are my notes from yesterday. And some days I actually do a reflection. And so I thought, this is a good day to use that reflection section. And I pulled in a cute little sticker notebook here to just sort of write those things down and share them with you. So I received a heartbeat, which is like a thank you note from my boss. And she was just thanking me for the work I had done and listed a few things that I have been doing this week. And I didn't even think about these things, but it was just something that I was doing to help myself. So I'm going to list them out because it might be helpful for you. I think I'm going to use this is a Happy Intentions sticker book. I actually made this myself. It's on my website, and it's linked in the description below. So I'm going to make this cute. I'm going to, oops, I want to paste it and make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. So I'm going to reflect back on and share with you some of the things she said to me and that I have learned to do over the years, but didn't even think that about the fact that I was intentionally doing them. So the first thing is that she said I pulled in the right people. I think as a leader, it can be really easy. And thinking about my other roles in life, mom, wife, caretaker, whatever, it can be easy to want to do things on your own all the time, or just like take care of things because we're like, yeah, we're totally capable, right? But it's really hard to ask for help sometimes, even when we need to. And I think it's also important to learn beyond asking for help, thinking about as a leader, like who do you need in the room to solve these issues? So, kind of as I reflect on this, I was pulling in the right people, but think about like your stakeholders and, who is impacted by whatever change or thing you need to do or workflow you need to think about. One good example is we had some nursing leaders with some concerns around a new workflow related to Rh immune globulin. You don't need to know what that is, but it's a medication that we give pregnant women so they don't get sensitized to antibodies, or an antigen made by baby and create antibodies. And so, thinking about who are the major players, well, in that example, we had lab, like blood bank, we had pharmacy, nursing, and even IT because they had to help us figure out our order sets. So when you're going through a major change or as a leader, something to think about is pulling in the right people and really whenever you're doing a project, always considering your stakeholders. So who is impacted, who needs to be informed, who needs to be consulted. And this also makes me think of another really cool acronym. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's called RACI. It stands for responsible, accountable, can't spell, consulted, and informed. So responsible is like the person who's actually doing the thing and making the work happen. Accountable is the person at the end of the day who is accountable for ensuring that work happens. They're probably not doing the work, but they might be leading the charge or the change or help guiding the people who are actually doing the work. Basically whoever's head will roll if the thing doesn't happen. Consulted, just people who you need to consult with to make sure you're making the right decisions. And inform, people just need to know, hey, I'm making these decisions. So this is a really amazing tool that I use when I'm project managing or thinking about expectations with my team. So I thought I would share that. RACI is really helpful. The second thing that she called out that I was doing was escalating as necessary. I'm just going to turn down the screen a little bit so it doesn't die. I'm one of those people who always forgets to charge right before they're going to film. So escalate is necessary. I think that sometimes we think we're doing a great job, we can solve problems, or that, if we wait long enough, things will get done. But I think there were a few times in the past 2 weeks where I was like, you know what, this is way bigger than me, and I needed to ask for escalation. Or if I was feeling like something wasn't happening as quick as I needed, I brought it to attention. So I think, call attention to what you see and help others see that too. Sometimes that means telling a story or visually showing what you think is going on to help others help you, to help you escalate to your boss, your VP, your director, whoever it is that you would go to say, hey, help me solve this problem. I need somebody with maybe a little bit more power or authority or, someone that people know better in the organization to help me. So that's what you would do. Escalate as necessary and call attention to what you want others to see so they can help you. And of course, I always say using these tools are better than crying wolf or whining or making a scene, because otherwise people don't want to help you when you get sort of worked up. And I see that a lot. Both women and men tend to do that to get their way, and I just think that there are other ways to escalate as necessary. The third thing that she said that I was doing was asking for help as needed. So I would say I have already talked about this a little bit, but I'll give another example. There's a few pending workflows that needed to get done, and I felt like I wanted to own those because they're technically my accountability. But then as the week went on, I realized that my capacity was limited. So what I did was I did a handoff and I delegated. So I did take a few moments to, write down my thoughts, share what I know, and ask for help. And I was really specific with my request, and I asked, can you own this for me? And it was wonderful. I got a great response from the person saying, "No problem. I have capacity to do that. I see how you don't at the moment, and I will figure it out." And she even messaged back, like, "Here are my questions." And she actually CC'd somebody else on the email, and her questions were answered. So I was like, great. I could have been the one answering those questions, but she found somebody else. And that really helped me focus on what I needed to focus on and not feel bad about maybe not getting that thing done that still needed to get done. The second to last thing is she said, you express gratitude as a practice. And our company has something, like I said, called a heartbeat, and that's what my boss sent me to share this with me. And what I've been trying to do is send one every day to someone. Send one every. Because oftentimes people help me with, enormous tasks quick. People are accommodating. They're getting creative. They are supportive. They bring light and joy. I just combined light and bright. Yeah, so they're bright, they bring light, they create joyful moments in these dark times when you're struggling and going through a change. And so I felt like, wow, I feel so grateful to be working with these wonderful people. And in the midst of all the hard, um, there's people who are just so willing to help and make my day. And you know what? After I would send these cards, I would feel so, so good. And I would just try to end each of my days with sending one or two heartbeats and just kind of remembering, like, what's my why, and why am I so grateful for the work that we're doing and for the people that I work with. And that's made this really difficult situation so much better because I can remember, like, I have an amazing team. And the last thing she said I was doing was encouraging others to do the same. I think as leaders, um, we often want to tell people what we're doing and how they should do things, or how we do things. But I think the best way to teach others is to model the behavior that you expect, or just model the behavior that you feel like is the right behavior. And when others, when people can see you actually doing something, I think that speaks so much louder than words. And so I think during this time, as I'm navigating, that looks like a nose, navigating change, how do I react? And I think about my words, but I also think about my actions, and I think about the messages and my body language, and I try to smile through the hard. And so I think by doing these things, like pulling in the right people and escalating as necessary, asking for help and expressing gratitude, when you do all those things, you tell other people that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to escalate something and not have to handle it yourself. And I think when you're vulnerable, or when you're asking for help, and when you demonstrate the mess, the messy middle, you just reinforce that we're all human, and the human experience involves a lot of complicated things, but you can do hard things, as Glennon Doyle says. So this got kind of messy, but this is sort of what a reflection can be like. How did I act today and what was good and what would I do differently? And I'd say this far, I think I would have escalated a few things sooner. But it's hard to know priorities. You don't know what you don't know, and hindsight's 2020. And I think I probably would have planned for more, maybe taken a break before go live so I could be on that marathon. Um, because today is the first day I actually have off from work, and then my daughter got sick and I had to pick her up from daycare when I was trying to recover. And so she's napping and she's totally fine, but she's napping now. So I'm getting, a few minutes in to record, but, now I'm not really getting a break. So, so I think you just kind of need to plan for a marathon, which means like not working late hours right before I go live, which sometimes feels unavoidable, but I think it's totally necessary. But otherwise, I think, you know, there's nothing that I would have changed knowing what I knew. And I think all my team members have done an amazing job, and I'm so proud of everyone. So that's my out of office reflection for today and what I learned during this major go live. Thanks for listening and watching. And the next video that I post is probably going to be my August plan with me video, which is so crazy. So I'll be decorating in August, and hopefully we can fill up this month. I've sort of sketched in the days of the week and when my staff have time off, and maybe there'll be more breaks. And what I'm really excited about is August 3rd. That's my birthday and my daughter's birthday, so that should be a really fun plan with me video. All right, until next time, everybody, take care and be a light.